I'm legitimately curious what you guys think about this because I know a lot of subscribers are from the international community, and I want some diversity when it comes to this problem to see how different minds think about it. So, we're going to talk about the bastion of human rights in 2020, the European Union, the place where we need to gain wisdom about European values and how to treat others and equality and equity. And I legitimately am curious to ask people what they think because this happens in the European Union. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Romania is a country under quarantine right now. I know many people on social media that are legitimately desperate because their business has been shut down. They don't know if they're going to get a job or not. They don't know if their wages are going to be cut or not. People are legitimately desperate because it's quarantine. Sacrifices must be made. But heaven forbid we make a sacrifice for Germany because Germany requires its asparagus. And when Germany calls, well, Romania beckons. They're like, all right, we're going to send you some slaves. We're going to send you some of our people as slaves to the German asparagus. Now, I want to make it absolutely clear, okay? I do not think that the German farmer is evil. The German farmer wants to make money. He has asparagus that needs harvesting. Now, I find it dubious that in a country with over 80 million people, you literally cannot find someone to harvest your asparagus. Especially in a time of quarantine, when there are people that are desperate to find a job. Especially in a time where Germany had millions after millions of immigrants, which I'm also sure some of them might be willing to have a job. Apparently, there's no one in Germany, so they have to call the Romania. Now, I do understand that picking asparagus is very difficult. It requires skill, and not everyone can do it. Well, tough shit, take the loss. Take the loss. It's a crisis. It's a quarantine, right? Make do with what you have. But no. Okay, so I'm not blaming the farmer. Okay, even the German government, I'm not necessarily blaming them. They are looking out for their interests, which are the German people. I don't have anything against the people that want to work. I mean, hell, there are people absolutely desperate to put food on the table. So right now they're going to go to Germany in order to pick the asparagus. I do have something with the motherfucking Romanian government. Like, how dare you? How dare you? Literally, you are telling other people they cannot have businesses now. You are telling that everyone needs to make a sacrifice. But when Germany beckons, it's like, all right, yeah, sure. I mean, we got some slaves here. Now, I'm not exaggerating when I say slaves, because when I describe to you the working conditions that these people are going to be put under, you're going to be like the genie from Aladdin. Your mouth is going to reach the floor. So, let's talk about social distancing. I find it absolutely hilarious. The people were literally bussed towards the airport. Can you maintain the social distancing in a bus? Unless all of them were wearing hazmat suits, I do not think so. But even then, when you're in the airplane, when you're in the airplane, can you maintain the social distancing in the airplane? Again, they weren't wearing hazmat suits. So I find it really hilarious that Germany is now deciding to put all these people in barracks. They say that they're all going to work together, and when on the field they're going to have social distancing. What's the point at that? Like, they already flew with the plane. They're already sleeping in bed. What's the point in putting them on the field? For the German cameras, for the German reporters to see that, oh, look, they have masks and they're wearing the social distancing. Okay, apparently, people in the press are saying that they're going to make below minimum wage because it's a time of crisis. I see. They're going to make somewhere around 1,000 euros. Now, I know a lot of people will say, well, how can you degrade yourself to travel to Germany and work for 1,000 euros? Yeah, you tell that to a person that normally earns 150 bucks, okay? But the wage isn't the problem. The wage isn't the problem. Apparently, the people can't leave. Like, once they're in Germany, they're going to be in a barrack, and they're going to be monitored with GPS, and they cannot leave. Like, let's say, at one point, one of them has enough, and well, I want to go home. Nine. Machen Sie die Asparagus bitte. You know, like, that's not it. They can't even choose who they work for. like they're being placed on a bus. They're taken to the airport. From the airport, they're going to be taken to random companies. They're going to be paid below minimum wage. They can't even choose where they work for. They can't leave until the contract is done. And by the way, the contract apparently can be unilaterally rejected by Germany with 24 hours notice. And on top of that, this is the most laughable thing ever. They can't choose who they work for, and they are going to work between 10 to 12 hours a day. I mean, when I said they're slaves, do you think I was joking? I mean, I'm legitimately curious to find a history book to find out how the cotton pickers were treated in America. I'm sure they were treated worse than this. But I want to compare, like to find similarities. Like have a page where I write the similarities and have a page where I write the differences. Because I'm really curious. It's insane. This is the European Union, yes? The bastion of human rights, European values. How many NGOs they have of European values? How many NGOs are upset about this? I'm curious, if you were to treat the immigrants this way, the spice melange, if you were to treat the spice melange like this, how would the NGOs consider it? There's this rich businessman in Romania. Maybe I should make a video when I translate it. And he says something really interesting. Gigi Becali is his name, right? He says, okay, if you really have to send people into Germany, why couldn't you, as the government, at least negotiate the contract? It's like, no, we're not going to let you pay these people 1,000 euros. You're going to pay them 5,000 euros. Fine, like you want our generation to be the sacrificial generation because our country is poor right now and you're able to take advantage of cheap labor. All right, then have contracts that benefit the Romanians as well. It's like, all right, big wage. Apparently no one in Germany knows how to pick the asparagus. Imagine that. 80 million people, not a single person knows how to... 5,000 euros. I mean, this is highly skilled labor now. You can find neurosurgeons, but you can't find the guy that picks the asparagus from the ground. All right, perfect. 5,000 euros. What is this 24 hours notice? No, like once you sign the contract, there should be clauses on both sides. Both parties could terminate. Have another barrack for the people that, I understand the situation. There's a quarantine. You can't just have the Romanian going around and infecting the decent folk, the decent German folk. No, I understand that. All right. But if a Romanian refuses to work, for some reason he just doesn't want to, all right, have another barrack where he goes to stay there until the plane comes and takes him to Romania. What is this nonsense that he's not allowed? What do you mean 12, 20 hours a day work? Oh, that's extra hours, isn't it? Oh, well, 5,000 euros is just the normal 8 hours a day. You want to work, pay extra time. And it's not, this is what pisses me off, because it's not like Germany wouldn't be able to afford it, because I understand the asparagus is the white gold for the Deutsche folk. It's very expensive there. I'm pretty sure they can allow it, considering that's a crisis. Other companies can't make a profit at all. Other companies can't even make bread during this time. They should be thankful that because they're into agriculture, they can still have a job and still keep the doors opening. But the Romanian government does not give a shit. This is why I do not talk about Romanian politics, because I have to read The Guardian in order to find out what's going to happen in my country. Because it's irrelevant. If Macron says something, Romania does it. If Merkel says something, Romania does it. I legitimately do not give a shit. The moment I became woke on Romanian politics was the moment the Romanian president said, we're not going to take a single refugee in our country. It's not that we couldn't house them somewhere. It's that the Romanian economy cannot integrate them. We already have high unemployment here. More people will just add to the unemployment. So that's what he says on television. Agree or disagree with his opinion, that's fine. But that was his opinion. Immediately he gets summoned by Merkel. And he comes back into Romania and is like, I have discussed refugee quotas. It's like, motherfucker. So you have to just question these things. It's like, what Romanian government? Tell me who the German people elect so I can know who to listen to, because they're obviously more important than the people here. People here don't give a shit. It's like, oh yeah, you're going to have police officers giving fine to old people because they're leaving their houses and whatnot. But at the same time, you're going to boss people around in order to go for the asparagus in Germany. And I'm willing to bet that if these people get sick, they're not going, like unless it's a crisis, right? Like unless like the workers really get super sick, then yeah, maybe they're going to be treated in a German hospital. But I think the plan is, since the disease has 2 weeks incubation period, it's like, come on, 10, 12 hours a day, harvest, fuck off back home. And the Romanian government is going to deal with your sickness. Am I wrong to be upset though? You know, am I wrong? I mean, I pay taxes for these people. I literally pay their wages. The people in the government. Yeah, I don't know. Like, and you know, people are upset on social media. They're upset, but they're going to vote for the same people anyway. I mean, I highly doubt. Like, this is what really pisses me off. I highly doubt that another political party would have done things differently, because at the end of the day, I know what's happening. I'm pretty sure, you know, this is quid pro quo, like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. I'm pretty sure some bribes were handed underneath the table. I would be shocked. I would be really shocked if the politicians weren't bribed in order to take these deals. Because, like, think about it. How many people are going in Germany to harvest the asparagus? Like, we're not talking about millions of people here so that, you know, there's like a net income in the country of a massive wave of taxes that is coming in the country. No, it's like just, so what the fuck are we talking about? You know, this is just so obvious, so painfully obvious, that it takes a time of crisis to see how subservient the Romanian government is towards Germany. And I have to say, I see a lot of people in the social media getting a little bit woke on the EU question.